Namaste, guys. Phoenix here. I hope you all are doing amazing. Um, I hope you have picked up on that beautiful co-creative energy that has been floating around here. I know that I have. I've gotten powerful downloads. Uh, the energy shift, like that I was speaking about. The shift was about you refining your gifts. That was what the shift was about. The shift was about you understanding why you were chosen to do what you were chosen to do. So I hope you all have come into those energetic alignments and got the answers that you deserve, okay? I am open for readings. My information is in the description box. If you need me, please reach out to me. Kim Potts, call me, reach me if you want to reach. I don't know how that goes. But I have a trick for you all. This trick is if you all are having, you know how you be in a moment to where you feel like 1:44 on my timer, the universe is trying to tell you something and you can't quite pick up what the energy is saying. And then you'll grab your phone, right? And so when you grab your phone, you look at the phone and you see the number on the phone. So if the number was 1:44 p.m. or a.m., it doesn't matter. So you'll add those numbers up, 4 plus 4 plus that 1. So that equals a number 9. And I'm gonna put it in the description box or in the comment section what those numbers mean. And so that'll help you understand what you are feeling or what is being asked of you at that time, right? So that was a tip that I got, okay, from the Holy Spirit. Another tip that I got while I'm coming on here is to talk to you all about dreams, okay? And so I'm starting this new healing course. And so, you know, you have to practice your healing course so that you can know that it works, right? Even though you know your magic works, but you have to practice your healing course, right? And so that's what I started doing. I wrote it up yesterday. I'm making tweaks in it, and so I started day 1. So it's a 7-week healing course, but I told myself I'm going to go through it in 7 days. I don't know about this because this healing course is very powerful. And so I might have to do it in 7 weeks. I hope I don't. I mean, but I'm going to do it in 7 days. And so day 1, the module was like reclaiming your fire. Module 1 pretty much talks about what brought you to the tear down, like what tore you down. That's what module 1 speaks about. What tore you down? What event, what person, what circumstance or situation tore you down? And so that's what module 1 is about. And so that's what module 1 is about. And so I just set the intention. Now, these new ancestors that I'm working with, my ancient ancestors, I'm telling you, these ancestors raw. They so badass, it's not even funny. I just really want to say that. My ancestors are raw. And man, my altar is living. Like, I don't know how else to say that. But this is what the dream I had, and all I did was set the intention. And so my course includes me being with you throughout your 7 weeks. So every week, we will get on a Zoom meeting, and I would help you interpret your reading, interpret your dream, so that it'll allow you to see what it is that you're healing. And at the end of that dream interpretation, we will go into the meditation together, okay? And this is with your ancestors. This is with your higher self, okay? This is with the ones that walk with you on your healing journey, right? And so this dream, okay, this dream was deep. And so I'm going to show you how I interpret my dreams. So 555 just passed on my timer. Okay, so 555 just passed on my timer. And so my dream started as a mother figure handing me a vehicle. And she gave me some keys. And I was kind of afraid to, you know, take the keys, but I did take the keys. And so I went down to go look at the car, and I had a baby with me. And so in the dream, I had a baby girl. She had to be around between the ages of 2 and 4. And this could be your story. I don't know, okay? But we all share a similarity. If you're following me, if you come into my energy, namaste. I always say that because if we have some similar resonation with each other, then that's just what it is, right? And so I go down to go look at the vehicle, and it's an Astro van. Now, Astro vans ain't been out in Lord knows how long, right? And then you see the keyword Astro. So that allowed me to know we were talking about my body, right? We were talking about my body. And so, in the van is like a soccer mom van, right? It is like baggage, right? That was my mom handing me those keys, right? So right there, I know that we're talking about generational trauma, right? And so in this Astro van, I looked at it, but I was very intimidated by it because it was a large vehicle, right? And it was gray. And so I haven't understood what gray means yet as far as, but I believe that gray means like the energy signature of the trauma. Because, you know, colors mean things, right? Gray means like the sadness, the heaviness of it, right? It's been passed down for me. So you have to determine your own factor, your own dreams have your own things, but I can pinpoint you in ways, right? And so I'm going to keep going. And so I thought I put the keys back in my purse, but the keys fell out of the purse. And as I'm walking back with the baby in my hand, I see from out the corner of my eye a white man get in this van, and he's upset. And he was driving around, like driving over curbs or driving over bushes. And I was like, wait, what are you doing? That's my vehicle. And so I put the baby down so I could try to intervene. But it was just like he was not trying to stop until he got his anger out, right? And so I was just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And he crashed the vehicle. And so once he crashed it, thank you, Spirit, for being here. Once he crashed it, he got out. And he walked past the baby, but I'm still trying to see if he did damage to the vehicle. And so I'm looking in the vehicle, and something within me, intuitively, said to me, turn around, because he did something to the baby. I couldn't bring myself to turn around, even though intuitively I knew something said, turn around, he did something to the baby, right? And so I turn around, and after he left, and I go and get the baby, and I said, what did he do to you? And then she was like, he put up his 2 fingers like this, and he had a black plastic bag over his hand, And he looked me in my eyes and like shushed me. But inwardly, I felt that he had molested my baby. Okay, this may be a trigger warning dream, okay? Trigger warning, right? And so, but inside of me, I felt he had molested my baby some type of way. I just didn't know. Because she may have been too young to express that to me, right? Because it was the way I felt in the dream. I felt that way in the dream, that he had did something sexually inappropriate to the baby with his fingers. And so, you know how you have that underline, like I know somebody did something, but you just can't pinpoint it, right? That's what that moment I was feeling in the dream. And so I go back in the building. I was hesitant to tell my mom what happened. And so it's just like she wasn't a mom, but she was a mom. That's how this person appeared in my dream. That's how I know we were talking about a mother figure. And this could have been like a mother line, right? Just a female representation of a mother, right? And so I finally told her. And so she was like, oh my God, like, are you okay? Like, you okay? Is everything all right? And I was like, yeah, I think so. It doesn't look like anything is wrong with the vehicle, but it was just smashed up. But when we went to go look at the vehicle, it was no dents around it or anything. Everything looked it fine. But when you stand from the back of the vehicle, you can see that the right side of the front window looked like it was off frame. So to me, that represents the window not being able to roll all the way up. That represents an energy leak somewhere, right? And so the right side is often the father side. That's that father room, right? And so I seen it, and I said, and we didn't say anything about it. And so then we go back into the building. We look for authority figures to tell, right? And so we ask an authority figure to check the camera. He's checking the camera and doesn't see a car. He doesn't see a white man. Only thing he see is me reacting. That's that gaslighting energy, right? When you feel a type of way about something, when you feel like you're being violated, right? And because there is no proof, people don't believe you, right? That's that gaslighting energy. And then I think I spoke about this before, when you are in a different state of existence, when you are on your spiritual journey, and when you are in a different state of being than the rest of the world, and you try to tell the rest of the world about your experiences, but they don't believe you, right? That's that gaslighting energy, right? So they gaslight you right up out of your space, right? And so I go and get in the car. I have this baby with me. Now this time I have two babies with me. I have a little boy and a little girl in the back of me, right? And so to me, that represents my inner child, that inner masculine and that inner feminine, right? And so I'm driving and I'm saying like, okay, I'm gonna go get some help, right? And so 13:33 on my timer, as I'm driving to go get some help, I knew exactly who to go get. I don't know why I knew to go get this particular person. And so I go and get this person. As I'm driving, it's like the steering wheel is all the way up here, and the left paddle and the right paddle is mixed up. And so I understood that those was the roles within me, my divine masculine, divine feminine. Their roles had been reversed. The roles has been reversed, and that's what the two children represents. Divine masculine, divine feminine, because it was so crazy, because on the right side, the girl was on the right side, and on the left side, 14:14 on my timer, the boy was on the left side. But if you all know anything about left side is usually your maternal line. That's usually where your intuitive senses come from. But societal, I don't know how they say, like the right side, the left side is your more analytical side. Your left side is your more side that takes apart things. It picks it apart, right, within the brain, right? That's how it processes things. And the right side is where the energy flows, so where it is more feminine, right? But in your body, it can become cross, I guess. I don't know, like it can become crossed. And so, okay. So 15:05 on my timer. So that's something I'm still trying to figure out about that. The feminine side is the left side. The masculine side is the right side, according to spirituality, right? But psychological terms, right? The analogical side is the left side. The more intuitive side, the more creative side is where the right side is where the brain interprets that, right? And so already I saw that those roles had gotten reversed, right? And so I understood that the white man represented colonialization, patriarchal, I don't know how to say that word, that male patriarchal energy that came in and disrupted the system that we already had within us, right? I understood that represented that. And so as I'm turning my car, trying to turn the vehicle, right? My car, which is my body, I wind up running into men that I felt like was no good for me. But I still, my vehicle, my body went there anyway, even though I inwardly felt that this man or these men was no good for me, right? And so I was like, man, I got back in the vehicle, and the guy was looking at me, and I was like apologizing for running into him, and then I got back in the vehicle and I drove off. And so in my dream, I remember this young lady. When we were growing up, it was a young lady who used to walk down the street, and the men used to ogle at her body, right? And so in my dream, in real life, I used to always think that this woman was beautiful. Like, she had a beautiful body. I used to always think she was beautiful. And I used to be like, dang, like, I would like a body like that. Because as a child, I wanted to be loved. I wanted to feel worshipped. I wanted to feel, I guess, not catered to, but I wanted to be unhealthily desired by the opposite sex, right? Unhealthily, right? Because that's what I saw when I were around men, older men. They would ogle at this particular lady, right? And so I wanted that. That's something that I had desired, right? I don't know why, but my dream was telling me that, right? And so when I go get this lady, I pull up, and it's a farmland, just farm. And it's a whole bunch of lost children just walking around, And the inner child within me, the male inner child energy, was like, look, like pointing and looking, was talking. And so I was like, oh, okay. And then the lady came and got in the car, but she wasn't listening to me. She was too busy, obsessed with her body. So that let me know that I had been disconnected from my body. And so, and that happened as a child, right? Remember the child, and it's like that maternal figure in me knew something had happened as a child. And this could be like ancestral lineage, what they were showing me. This may not have happened to me as a child, but this is what they were showing me, how we got disconnected from our body, right? And so I can sense the lake, the energy of the lake. That's emotions, right? I can sense that energy around us. And so the girl get out the car, and I go over to the lake. And so while she's getting out the car, I'm watching her, and then another vision, like another part of my dream, pops up to where this lady, she's a young lady, like younger, like in her pre-teens, and she's laying on the bed, and a man is laying beside her, and he's smelling on her, like he's smelling her scent, her natural sexual scent, but it only becomes sexual because the patriarch system has you believing that your sexual organs are for sex. Damn, I don't know how to say that, Spirit. Has you believing that your creation, your portal, is only to be used for sex. It's only to be housed for sex. Like, it's only to be used for that particular thing. Remember, because slave days, right? You know what they did. I don't have to, give y'all a history lesson in that, right? And so Okay, sorry. And so remember back in those slave days, you know, or even when our ancestors were growing up, they made, you know, they would just, you know, I guess use women, you know the saying, you know how it works. I don't need to give y'all no history lesson and I'm peeling some potatoes, okay? And so, and so, I was just like, wow, you know, like in the dream, just wow, right? And so I understood that my emotions was disconnected with my body. And so in the dream, like this man is just like smelling on this young girl. And then he, I don't want to say it like that, but he puts his finger in her and he just jumps on her and ravish her, and he turns into this monster, this beast. And I jump out of my sleep like, whoa. And so I instantly come in here and write it down. And so that is what I interpret from the dream, that how a lot of us women got disconnected from our body. It can even be like how it led us to like the same sex even. And so that was something that came up for me, and I understood that them children was that disowned versions of yourselves. And so I kind of did a ceremony. A ritual for all of the lost children, you know, lost childhood, right? I gave a ceremony for that. Oh, I'm getting chills. And not these potatoes. I keep my potatoes in the pantry, so I don't have to explain it to you. And so I understood that. And so I did a ritual for that, for these children. But that goes to show you, like, man, the power of your intention, the power that this healing course has with it. And so that was something that came up for me. I understand that I'm healing a lot of deep ancestral wounds. And so I thought that this phase of my journey would be kind of subsiding, okay? But it has amped up a little bit. I guess because I am actively choosing to face this. And so, man, and then another thing that in the dream, it showed me that how women, we're not heard, we're not understood, we're not believed, we're gaslit about our feelings, about our emotions, about, you know, what happens to us. And that's why a lot of times we wind up attracting narcissistic relationships in our lives, right? The authority figure, right? Not believing. Believe it or not, a lot of households, especially black households, it's a lot of molestation going on within the households, and no one wants to talk about it, right? It's swept under the rug. The girls are not believed, even the boys, right? No one believes them, right? Because they don't have no proof, right? And so even though some of the women kind of know what happened, right, but they still kind of pushing it under the rug because it's considered a shame, right? And so I understood that I was healing that type of shame that had happened in my lineage. That was something that I understood that also, okay? And so, man, the spirit just pretty much said that you are here to speak your voice. And if that includes triggering a couple of motherfuckers, then that's just what it is. And it says, like, a lot of times your voice has been taken away from you, and you try not to speak what you need to speak because you don't want to ruffle any feathers. That was happening to me on my healing channel. This is my healing channel, right? It's alchemy with Phoenix. It's what I do. I alchemize energy, right? And so I use my own life experiences to assist the collective in healing, right? And so for a long time, I would dumb down my healing series because for the people in my family, if they watch this video, they're gonna take it personal and think I'm just trying to lash out on them. Or here we go, the one thing for sure, the playing the victim, right? And it's just like, I'm pinpointing energy. I'm not talking about you as your character, right? Man, spirit said call a spade, but I'm pinpointing to the energy. I'm talking about the energy. And spirit said call a spade because sometimes you are sent in people's lives to trigger them to look at their wounds, right? Because you faced your wound, right? And so if you trigger people, that's because you're triggering them for a reason. It's like the Most High is using you at this time, maybe to say something, maybe to speak up about it, right? Not to start a riot. And then it's just like, when you know certain things, when you know that things has happened to you, it can often be swept under the rug. Man, I speak my truth to people about my healing. I remember when I first started healing, I was calling people, apologizing. My old boss, he was like, dang, T, like, did you join the AA meeting? No, I didn't join the AA meeting. I just felt like you were a kind person, and pieces of me took advantage of that because I've never had that kindness handed to me in my life. He was like a father figure to me, and I never experienced a father figure in my life that would treat me like their child. I've never experienced that. And so it was like, I called and apologized to him because I felt something within me felt like I took that for advantage, and I'll call him and I apologize. And it was so funny. And I would call other people and I apologize, and then I spoke my truth, and some people was like, oh, your healing journey, you don't have to speak your truth to people. Maybe that's your path, right? But my path is my path. My path is to speak this truth, right? And so sometimes people don't want to hear it. People don't want to know. They don't want to face the shit that they did. But while you are suffering, right? And it's like you're taking the opportunity to heal yourself. And it's just like, you're not trying to blame anyone, right? You're finding closure within you, right? And it's like you're supposed to go on with your healing journey with or without these people, right? And you make your channel, right? You start your healing practice, but you still have these people floating in your head while you're healing because you don't want to hurt their feelings. Then that means technically you're not fully healed, right? And that was something that I had to learn. That was something that needed to be released out of me. And every time that I will make a video, I will try to watch my words or watch what I say, because someone in, I guess, my family or a previous relationship will watch my videos. And man, if what I'm saying is triggering you, then you need to go heal, just like the fuck I'm healing, right? And I forgive you. I love you. Whatever happened, it happened to show me my power. It awoken me to my power. But if I use that story as an example, right, to help my collective understand what energies look like, thank you, Spirit, and how it's played out in your life, and you take it personal, then that means that that is something that you need to heal as an individual. It has nothing to do with me, right? And so that was something that came up also, because I understood that, like, it's just like every time I would go to make a video, I was afraid that somebody would see my content, somebody that I know, and will say, oh, you see the video? Like, they talking about you. And it's like, no, I'm not talking about you. I'm speaking about the energy exchange that we had with each other. And until we get fucking serious in this Black community and start coming to the realization that, man, we have some We are whole and holy as we are. Yes, that is very true. But in order for you to feel whole and holy, you have to address what's keeping you from believing you're whole and holy, right? You have to address what's keeping you, that inner voice within you that's keeping you out of your light. You have to address that. You have to address why you keep attracting the men that you attract, why you keep settling for less than what you deserve men. We have to address that. And this is just not for the black community, but this is what I'm speaking about because of my color, right? And it's like you have to address that. A lot of people don't want to address it. They just want to sweep it under the rug, like as if it never happened. And then you go throughout life, generation after generation, and these cycles are being repeated for a reason. It's being repeated because it's time for someone to break that damn cycle, right? And so that was something that, you know, I understood. And I remember growing up, a lot of my families would always tell me I talk too much. They would always say, you think you know what you're talking about? It wasn't that I knew what I was talking about. It was that that was the message that was delivered to me. And so that made me afraid. Thank you, Spirit, to speak my truth. I recently had a vision or a dream about somebody I know and their child. And I told them, you know, about the dream that I had about their child. And because this person is very religious, you know, I guess they don't believe it. But, you know, man, what Sender Master Yeshua say, a prophet is not recognized in his home, in its own home, period. And I'm not 31, 33. Yes, I am a prophet. And then it's the thing, you have to recognize what you are. Just because people don't see it, that doesn't mean that you're not called. And that was something that came up in my other video, and I said, God don't call the chosen. I forget how to say that. I need to look that up because that's something that's been coming up for me a lot. Because I guess people been in my energy, or people be thinking about me and what I do. And mind you, I don't bother nobody in my family. I don't, you know, I stay in my own lane because I know I get a lot of downloads about them. And I don't readily want to tell them or share with them the downloads that I get because I know they're not going to believe me. So there's no point in me even, you know, continuing that. Wow, Spirit, Six of Cups, Six of Wands. But I understand that my path is, I have my moon sign in Pisces, and my Pisces is in the 7th house. And it's not about kissing their ass anymore. It's about me becoming friends with my inner world. Because I've been turned against my inner world, okay, by society, by where I live, my upbringing, the church, ancestral. It's like a long line of ancestral lineage. We've been turned against our inner world. Like they turned us against that. 3303 on my timer, and they did it purposely to keep you out of your light, right? And it's just like now you don't believe in your intuition. And why is it so hard for us to find our intuition? Why is it so hard? And it's just like it could be like one person out the family that can feel like that they're more holier than the next person because of the path that they chose. And it's just like nobody, you understand, me, I understand that nobody is more holier than me, and that we are all out here, we are all the same, okay? It's just like, man, Spirit, give me the right words to say this. It's just like, it's not about, man, how you're perceiving yourself to be, right? It's not about the ego. You perceiving yourself in that egoic way to be better than someone. It's about you being, cutting karmic cycles out of your life to not continue to dabble in the BS. Thank you, Spirit. That's what it's about. That's how you make that act of change. That's what sets you apart. You no longer gossiping with them on the phone. You no longer doing and parading in the things that they do anymore. You no longer hiding things, hiding your truth like you used to. You're not a fucking child anymore, right? And it's you standing up for your right to live within yourself, right? And that's something that has been That's pretty much what my master class is about. It's about you taking up for yourself, you standing up for yourself, you being the mother that you never had, you being a sibling that you never had, right? You being your own best friend, right? That's what my class is about. It's like getting done with this fighting, done carrying these burdens, these overloads, right? You're done with this cycle, this spiritual heaviness, right? This is spiritual psychosis in its finest, right? This is you carrying, man, disconnect from what and who you truly are because of a patriarch society, because you was colonialized, not colonial, but colonized to do so, right? And this saying no more to this male dominant energy. This is saying no more to my unhealthy, wounded inner masculine. That is what this is saying. This is saying no more to that wounded feminine within me, that I go and get these men that only appreciate my body and not my spirit, because that's what I bring to the table, right? And then you have these men that come into your life, man, spirit, and want to build with you, and you're just like, you want to build with me, or you want to unload your heaviness? I'm tired of doing it on my own in me, right? Because as a woman, we've been trained to carry it all, right? This is your justice. This is what you owe yourself, right? To be carried away from, man, this energy here, this regret, this loss, this, man, devil energy. Spirit, speak to it, be like this devil energy, this energy. Look, you deserve to be moved away from that, right? It's just like, this is your justice. You owe this to your lineage, to your children, to the ones that is gonna come after you, right? You owe this to you. You have angels here. Wow, spirit, it's gonna make me cry. Look, you owe this to yourself, and this isn't to shit on anyone, okay? I only describe energy, okay? You owe this to yourself, right? To have a healthy masculine within you, okay? That's mature, that's compassionate, that's calm, that's caring, that's friendly, that's diplomatic, that's balanced, that's faithful. Your inner self, that inner father figure, being affectionate and compassionate to you, within you, okay? Okay, and so, but if you have this unhealthy version, right? If the unhealthy version is immature, overly emotional, anxious, uncaring, gullible, unkind, cold, violent, cheap, okay, cheater, manipulator, ruthless, moody, that keeps you in this energy, no, this isn't about blaming anyone. This is about you standing up for yourself, you taking back your power, and you saying no more, okay? This is what this is about, and this is what my channel is about. My channel is about that, okay? My channel isn't about shaming anyone, okay? Because I've been the victim in somebody's life. I had to heal from that, okay? Just like I said with my old boss, I was the victim in his life. That's something that I had to heal. I tell people that all the time. Like, I call people and I say, damn, I did that to you because I was unhealthy. I did that to you. Even my ex-husband, even my ex, I called him and apologized to him on numerous fucking occasions. On occasions which I should not have. But I did it anyway. Because I don't know, that's just something within me. That's just how something within me does it. It's like this, I don't know, this righteous truth that lives within me that does that. I don't know why, but it does, right? I don't know. And we keep holding on to this heaviness. We ain't gonna never see ourselves free. We ain't gonna never see ourselves, our bloodline, our children free, because we're gonna keep repeating those same unhealthy cycles over and over again. We're going to keep choosing unhealthy men and women just because we are afraid to be alone with ourselves. We're going to keep that energy up. And man, this energy got me. When it came to me, and I guess my ancestors knew that, because I'm stubborn. I am stubborn as heck, and I will not back down. I will definitely try something different. I'm the only person in my family that went to the military. I'm the only, like, I did that. Like, when I answered that military call, that was them that was the beacon that I lit to say, I'm going to choose a different path than anyone else has. That didn't make me better. That didn't make me anything different than them. I just chose a different path. I chose not to be in the same place anymore. I chose to leave it alone. I chose to walk the path alone, okay? I chose that. And so this is something I chose before I came here. This is something that my ancestors chose. And it is a heavy burden. This path that I walk is not for the weak. And so a lot of times I'm tired. I don't have anybody to console, to talk to. And the people that I do talk to about what I go through, they wind up taking it personal some type of way. And so I have to keep these things to myself, or just speak to it, just talk to myself all the time. Because, and this happened when I grew up, like when I tell people stuff, and then they'll go and tell somebody else, like secrets, like they'll tell the unhealthy secrets, right? But won't tell the real truth of things. And it's just like, I noticed that with the VA, even in the military, I noticed that. And it's like, oh, they'll tell what I did, right? But wouldn't tell what they did. I noticed that in the military. And yeah, I noticed that in the military. And it's just like, what? And I wind up getting punished. I don't know. I just will wind up getting punished. That happened to me a lot as a child. A lot. I would get punished because somebody did something to me. Yeah, man, just like the on the video, right? In the dream, right? When the girl, they only saw her reacting, right? They didn't see, but the other person did. That would happen to me all the time. I would get in trouble, okay? Yeah. And that happened to me in the military. Yeah. That happened all the time. And so that was something that came up, okay? And so that is about my new course that I have. It's called Phoenix Code Masterclass. And so, yeah, it's a little pricey, but what is your freedom worth? Okay, what is your freedom worth? And in this course, you can use it throughout your lifetime, through every healing phase of your life. And you can call me, and you can email me, and you can access me when you have deep issues, deep-seated things that you're going through due to my course, right? You can reach me. You have that advice of a sage, of a mentor, of someone that's going to truly be there for you, okay? And so that was something that I learned, like, man, even when I talk about healing and I use energies as examples, and people be, man, upset, like, and it's just like, speaking the truth. Like, it didn't come out upside down. It came out right side up. And it's just like people don't want to know their truth. People don't want to know the position that they play in your life. People don't want to know that. But when you spot it and you pinpoint it, and that's the thing, not letting shit pass anymore. Not attaching to someone else's energy anymore. Not allowing people to live in your head rent free. You cut that fucking sword off with that energy off with the goddamn sword of truth, right? You cut that energy off from you with the quickness. And that's something that I had learned because I grew up in a large family. These particular people in my family, they will often be in my head with their voice, but it's just an energy. It's an energy, an inner energy that I struggle with. So a lot of my houses are a lot of my spiritual houses are in my inner world. They're like in Neptune, Pisces, Cancer, you know, that deep intuitive energy. Okay, I have very transformational energy in those houses, which I understand. I am here to transcend the confusion that this outer world has placed on me. I am to completely live from within. I am to completely and only to rely on my intuition and to spirit. I am completely to dissolve all of the personalities, the energies that was given to me. It doesn't belong to me. And my body is rejecting that. 44 on my timer. My body is rejecting that. Okay, and that is something that I'm here to dissolve. Okay, and that's just what it is. Like, and if that means people going out of my life, not calling me, not talking to me, I'm okay with that, because I'm over the shit. I'm over kissing ass, period, towel moments. I'm over this shit. Planting, people planting seeds against you, and then you experience a towel moment. Like, man, but this is spirit planting seeds. I don't know. What is this spirit? Spirit is planting seeds, okay? For you to take a leap of faith, okay? And if you are experiencing this in your life, okay? Because this is happening for your good, for your own good, okay? Because you are confused about the conflict that's going on around you, okay? You are confused about that. Understand you are the star, and you are to walk away. And then we have death again. You are to walk away and become lovers with yourself. You are to find happiness within yourself, okay? Because you are the Empress. You are the strong. You are strong, right? I can't even say no more. And I don't even usually promote my stuff. I just allow whoever need to see me. But I don't know, Spirit told me to come on here and promote this masterclass. And so, man, if you need it, it's there. The price is $666, and you can pay into, that's $333. You can pay in 2 sessions. And so I know that it works, because it works for me. It's been working for me. This is what I've been doing for the past 7 years. And so this is what it does, okay? And so, man, you're not alone in this journey, okay? You're definitely not alone. And so, like I said, if you need me, my information is in the description box. My Etsy store is available to you. My email address is available to you. If you just even need a little bit of advice, I'll do my best to help you as best as I could without wasting my energy. Your energy is currency. And that's what we need to stop doing. Allowing people to be in our energy field and use us as if we just got that extra time to spare, to give to you, to waste time on you. People don't understand the most valuable currency is your time. That's something that you cannot get back. You cannot get that back. And so if you spend the rest of your life hurting, reminiscing over hardship, over heartache, you are wasting your time and you are not moving forward, okay? So maybe this tower period, I cannot make this up. Maybe this tower moment is happening for you to get back on track, okay? And so, namaste. I love you all so much. Take care. Bye.